As you journey through life, seeking deeper meaning and connection to the spiritual realm, you may sometimes feel that your progress has stalled. The path of a chosen one is rarely smooth or straightforward. Just as a river may be impeded by fallen trees or accumulated debris, our spiritual growth can become blocked by various obstacles, both internal and external. These blockages can manifest in many ways, often subtle and easy to overlook in the busyness of daily life. Yet for those attuned to their inner world and spiritual calling, certain signs begin to emerge, whispers from the soul that all is not flowing as it should. By learning to recognize these signs, you empower yourself to address the root causes and clear the way for renewed spiritual expansion. In this exploration, we'll delve into 7 powerful indicators that you may be experiencing spiritual blockages on your path as a chosen one. These signs serve as guideposts, illuminating areas where energy has stagnated and growth has slowed. By bringing awareness to these blockages, you take the first crucial step toward dissolving them and realigning with your highest purpose. A persistent sense of disconnection. One of the most common and troubling signs of spiritual blockage is a pervasive feeling of disconnection from yourself, from others, and from the divine source that underlies all of existence. This disconnection often creeps in gradually, like a fog rolling over a once clear landscape. You may find yourself going through the motions of your spiritual practices, but the spark of genuine connection feels dim or entirely extinguished. This disconnection can manifest in various ways. Perhaps your meditation sessions, once a source of profound insight and peace, now feel mechanical or fruitless. The prayers or rituals that used to fill you with a sense of sacred purpose may begin to feel hollow or performative. You might notice a growing emotional distance in your relationships, struggling to empathize or truly connect with loved ones on a heart level. In the wider world, this disconnection often shows up as a sense of alienation or not belonging. The natural world, which may have once filled you with wonder and a feeling of oneness, can start to seem flat or devoid of deeper meaning. You might find yourself questioning your place in the grand tapestry of existence, unsure of your role or purpose. This disconnection is more than mere loneliness or temporary low mood. It's a fundamental shift in how you experience reality. The vibrant, interconnected web of life that you once perceived now feels muted and distant. This can be particularly distressing for chosen ones, who often have an innate sense of their connection to something greater than themselves. It's important to remember that this disconnection, while painful, is not a permanent state. Rather, it's a sign that something within your spiritual ecosystem needs attention and realignment. The very awareness of this disconnection is, paradoxically, a connection in itself, a recognition that something is amiss and needs to be addressed. Chronic fatigue and low energy. Another powerful sign of spiritual blockage is a persistent state of fatigue that goes beyond normal tiredness. This isn't the kind of exhaustion that can be cured by a good night's sleep or a relaxing weekend. Instead, it's a bone-deep weariness that seems to permeate every aspect of your being. As a chosen one, you may be accustomed to feeling energized by your spiritual pursuits. The act of connecting with the divine, of working towards your higher purpose, typically infuses you with vitality and enthusiasm. When spiritual blockages occur, however, this wellspring of energy can become obstructed. You might find yourself struggling to muster the energy for activities that once invigorated you. Your spiritual practices, rather than rejuvenating you, may start to feel like another drain on your limited resources. Even day-to-day tasks can become overwhelming, as though you're constantly swimming against a strong current. This fatigue often extends beyond the physical realm. Mental fatigue may manifest as difficulty concentrating, forgetfulness, or a general mental fog that makes clear thinking a challenge. Emotionally, you might feel drained, struggling to engage fully with life or to experience the depth of feeling you once did. For many chosen ones, this chronic low-energy state is accompanied by a sense of heaviness or density. It may feel as though you're carrying an invisible weight, one that makes every step on your spiritual path feel like an immense effort. This heaviness can be both physical and energetic, a sense that your very aura has become sluggish and bogged down. It's crucial to understand that this fatigue is not a personal failing or a sign that you're not cut out for your spiritual journey. Rather, it's an indication that your energy systems are out of balance. Just as a clogged pipe impedes the flow of water, spiritual blockages can prevent the free flow of life force energy through your being. This fatigue serves as a call to examine your energy management. Are you taking on too much? Are there areas of your life where you're expending energy needlessly? Are there unresolved emotional or psychological issues draining your reserves? By addressing these questions, you can begin to identify the sources of your energy depletion and take steps to restore your natural vitality. Recurring negative thought patterns. The mind of a chosen one is often a place of great creativity, insight, and spiritual contemplation. When spiritual blockages occur, however, this internal landscape can become overrun with persistent negative thought patterns. These thoughts act like weeds, choking out the more positive and enlightening ideas that usually flourish in your mental garden. You may find yourself caught in loops of self-doubt, questioning your abilities, your worth, and even your status as a chosen one. These doubts can be incredibly insidious, whispering that perhaps you were mistaken about your calling, that you're not good enough or spiritually advanced enough to fulfill your purpose. Another common manifestation is a tendency towards cynicism or pessimism. The world, which you may have once viewed with a sense of wonder and potential, might start to seem dark, threatening, or devoid of meaning. You might find yourself focusing on the negative aspects of situations, struggling to see the light or the lessons in challenging circumstances. Fear-based thinking is another hallmark of this type of spiritual blockage. You may become preoccupied with worst-case scenarios, allowing anxiety about the future to overshadow your present moment awareness. This fear can paralyze you, making it difficult to take positive action or to trust in the unfolding of your spiritual journey. For many chosen ones, these negative thought patterns extend to their perception of their spiritual progress. You might become harshly self-critical, judging yourself for not being spiritual enough or for struggling with aspects of your path. This spiritual perfectionism can create a cycle of guilt and shame that further reinforces the blockage. It's important to recognize that these thoughts, while feeling very real and compelling, are not the truth of who you are. They are symptoms of blocked energy, manifestations of fear and disconnection, rather than genuine insights. The very fact that you can observe these thought patterns means that there's a part of you that stands apart from them, the true, unblocked essence of your being. Becoming aware of these negative thought patterns is a crucial step in addressing the underlying spiritual blockage. By learning to observe your thoughts without becoming entangled in them, you create space for more positive and aligned thinking to emerge. This doesn't mean forcibly suppressing negative thoughts, but rather developing a more balanced and compassionate relationship with your own mind. Physical symptoms and ailments. The connection between body and spirit is profound, and often spiritual blockages will manifest in physical form. As a chosen one, you may be particularly sensitive to these physical manifestations, experiencing a range of symptoms that seem to defy conventional medical explanation. One common physical sign of spiritual blockage is the occurrence of persistent aches and pains. These might move around the body, appearing in different locations without any apparent cause. You might experience frequent headaches, especially around the temples or the third eye area. Neck and shoulder tension is also common, as if you're quite literally carrying the weight of unresolved spiritual issues. Digestive problems often accompany spiritual blockages. This can include unexplained stomach upset, changes in appetite, or sensitivities to foods that never bothered you before. In many spiritual traditions, the gut is seen as our second brain and a seat of intuition. When this area is affected, it can indicate a disruption in how we process and integrate spiritual energies. Sleep disturbances are another key physical sign. You might find yourself struggling with insomnia, experiencing vivid or disturbing dreams, or feeling unrefreshed even after a full night's sleep. The hours between 2 and 4 a.m., often referred to as the spiritual hour, may be particularly challenging, with a tendency to wake up during this time. Skin issues can also signal spiritual blockages. Rashes, acne, or other skin problems might appear without any obvious external cause. In many traditions, the skin is seen as a reflection of our inner state, and eruptions on the skin can represent internal energies pushing to the surface. You might also notice changes in your energy levels that follow seemingly random patterns. Sudden bouts of fatigue might hit you at odd times, or you might experience inexplicable surges of restless energy, especially when trying to relax or meditate. It's crucial to note that while these physical symptoms can be indicators of spiritual blockages, they may also have medical causes. As a chosen one, it's important to maintain a balanced approach, seeking appropriate medical care, while also considering the spiritual dimensions of your physical experiences. These physical manifestations serve as the body's way of communicating that something is out of alignment on a deeper level. They are calls for attention, asking you to look beyond the surface symptoms to the underlying spiritual imbalances. By addressing these blockages, many chosen ones find that their physical symptoms also begin to alleviate. Emotional numbness or volatility. The emotional realm is particularly sensitive to spiritual blockages, and as a chosen one, you may notice significant changes in your emotional landscape when your spiritual energy is not flowing freely. These changes often manifest in one of two seemingly opposite ways: emotional numbness or extreme emotional volatility. Emotional numbness is characterized by a sense of detachment from your feelings. You might find that experiences that once moved you deeply now barely register on an emotional level. Joy, sorrow, anger, love. All these emotions may feel muted or distant, as if you're observing them from behind a thick pane of glass rather than fully experiencing them. This numbness can be particularly distressing for chosen ones, who often have a natural capacity for deep feeling and empathy. You might worry that you're losing your connection to humanity, or your ability to compassionately engage with the world. This emotional flatness can extend to your spiritual experiences as well, with formerly transcendent practices feeling empty or meaningless. On the other hand, spiritual blockages can also manifest as emotional volatility. In this state, you might find yourself at the mercy of intense and unpredictable mood swings. Small triggers can lead to disproportionate emotional responses. You might experience sudden bursts of anger, floods of sadness, or waves of anxiety that seem to come out of nowhere. This emotional instability can be equally challenging, making you feel out of control and disconnected from your usual centered state. You might find yourself reacting in ways that feel out of character, then berating yourself for these reactions, creating a cycle of emotional turbulence and self-criticism. Both emotional numbness and volatility often stem from a disconnection from your authentic self. When spiritual energy is blocked, it can create a sort of emotional static, interfering with your ability to clearly feel and process your emotions. This disruption in your emotional flow can leave you feeling ungrounded and out of touch with your inner truth. For many chosen ones, this emotional turmoil is accompanied by a sense of guilt or shame. You might feel that as a spiritually aware person, you should have better control over your emotions. It's important to remember that these emotional states are not personal failings, but rather symptoms of a deeper imbalance that needs attention. Navigating these emotional waters requires patience and self-compassion. It involves learning to sit with uncomfortable emotions without judgment and gradually reconnecting with your emotional core. As you work to clear the spiritual blockages, you may find that your emotional responses naturally begin to stabilize, allowing for a more authentic and balanced emotional life. Loss of purpose or direction. A strong sense of purpose is often a defining characteristic of chosen ones. You may have always felt a clear calling or an understanding of your role in the greater scheme of things. When spiritual blockages occur, however, this sense of purpose can become clouded or seem to disappear entirely. This loss of direction can be deeply disorienting. You might find yourself questioning the path you've been on, unsure if you're still moving in the right direction, or if you've somehow strayed from your true purpose. The goals and aspirations that once inspired you may suddenly seem meaningless or unattainable. Many chosen ones experience this as a crisis of faith, not necessarily in a religious sense, but in terms of their faith in their own journey and calling. You might begin to doubt the experiences and insights that led you to identify as a chosen one in the first place. This self-doubt can be paralyzing, making it difficult to take action or make decisions about your life and spiritual practice. This loss of purpose often manifests as a feeling of being stuck or stagnant. You might feel like you're going through the motions of life without any real sense of progress or growth. Your spiritual practices, once a source of advancement and insight, might start to feel routine or ineffective. Many people in this state describe feeling as though they're wandering in a fog. The clear path they once perceived now seems obscured, with no clear indicators of which way to go. This can lead to a sense of spiritual homesickness, a longing for the clarity and purpose you once felt, without knowing how to return to that state. It's common in this phase to feel a pull towards drastic changes. You might be tempted to abandon your current path entirely, thinking that if you could just find the right teacher, practice, or philosophy, your sense of purpose would be restored. While growth often does involve change, it's important to approach such decisions with discernment rather than desperation. This loss of direction, while painful, is not a sign of failure on your spiritual journey. Rather, it's often a necessary phase of growth and realignment. Just as a caterpillar must enter the seeming chaos of the chrysalis before emerging as a butterfly, chosen ones sometimes need to pass through periods of confusion and doubt to reach new levels of clarity and purpose. During this time, it's crucial to resist the urge to force clarity or to cling to old paradigms that no longer serve you. Instead, this is a time for deep listening, to your inner voice, to the subtle signs from the universe, and to the wisdom of trusted spiritual companions. As you work to clear the blockages that have obscured your path, your sense of purpose will likely re-emerge, often with greater depth and authenticity than before. Synchronicities and signs diminish. For many chosen ones, life is typically rich with synchronicities, those meaningful coincidences that seem to confirm you're on the right path or provide guidance at crucial moments. These can take many forms: repetitive number sequences, chance encounters that lead to important connections, or events that seem to perfectly answer an unspoken question. When spiritual blockages occur, however, these synchronicities may seem to dramatically decrease or disappear altogether. The world, which once seemed alive with signs and symbols meant just for you, might suddenly feel silent and unremarkable. This decrease in synchronicities can be profoundly unsettling for chosen ones who have come to rely on these signs as confirmation of their spiritual connection. You might find yourself straining to see meaning in ordinary events, or conversely, dismissing potential signs out of a growing sense of skepticism or disconnection. The absence of these affirming experiences can lead to a feeling of spiritual isolation. You might feel as though you've lost your special connection to the universe, or that the spiritual realm has somehow abandoned you. This perceived silence can be particularly challenging during times of difficulty or important decision-making, when you most crave clear guidance. It's important to understand that this apparent decrease in synchronicities doesn't necessarily mean they've stopped occurring. Often, spiritual blockages can affect our ability to perceive and interpret these signs. It's as though a filter has been placed over our spiritual senses, muting our receptivity to the subtle communications of the universe. This change in your experience of synchronicities can also reflect a necessary shift in your spiritual journey. Perhaps you've become overly dependent on external signs, and this period of quietude is an invitation to develop greater trust in your inner guidance. Or it may be that the form of guidance you need is changing, requiring you to attune yourself to new and unfamiliar types of synchronicities. During this phase, many chosen ones find it helpful to broaden their understanding of what constitutes a sign or synchronicity. Sometimes the absence of something can be as meaningful as its presence. The challenges and obstacles you're facing might themselves be forms of guidance, urging you to develop new spiritual muscles or to release old patterns that no longer serve you. This period of reduced synchronicities, while often frustrating, can ultimately lead to a more mature and nuanced understanding of your relationship with the spiritual realm. As you work to clear your spiritual blockages, you may find that synchronicities return in new and surprising forms, reflecting your evolved state of awareness. Conclusion: embracing the journey of unblocking. Recognizing these signs of spiritual blockage is the first step on the path to renewed flow and alignment. As a chosen one, you have the innate capacity to navigate these challenges and emerge stronger and more connected than ever before. It's crucial to approach these blockages with compassion and patience. They are not punishments or signs of spiritual failure, but rather opportunities for profound growth and transformation. Each blockage carries within it a lesson, a chance to deepen your understanding of yourself and your spiritual journey. By facing these challenges head-on, you honor your role as a chosen one and reaffirm your commitment to spiritual growth. As you work to clear these blockages, remember that the process is rarely linear. You may experience breakthroughs followed by setbacks, moments of clarity interspersed with periods of confusion. This ebb and flow is a natural part of the spiritual journey, and each phase offers its own unique insights and opportunities for growth. One of the most powerful tools at your disposal is mindfulness. By cultivating a practice of non-judgmental awareness, you can begin to observe the patterns and behaviors that contribute to your spiritual blockages without becoming entangled in them. This awareness creates space for change, allowing you to make conscious choices that align with your highest good. Another crucial aspect of addressing spiritual blockages is self-care. As a chosen one, you may have a tendency to prioritize your spiritual work over your physical and emotional needs. However, true spiritual health encompasses all aspects of your being. Ensuring that you're well-rested, properly nourished, and emotionally supported can go a long way in clearing energetic obstructions. It's also important to remember that you don't have to navigate this journey alone. Seeking support from like-minded individuals, spiritual mentors, or professional healers can provide valuable perspectives and tools for addressing your blockages. Sometimes, simply sharing your experiences with others who understand can be profoundly healing. As you work through your spiritual blockages, you may find that certain practices resonate more strongly with you. Some chosen ones find solace in meditation or prayer, using these practices to reconnect with their inner wisdom and the divine. Others may be drawn to energy healing modalities, using techniques like Reiki or acupuncture to restore the flow of life force energy. Physical practices can also be powerful tools for clearing spiritual blockages. Yoga, Tai Chi, or other forms of mindful movement can help release stagnant energy stored in the body. Time spent in nature can be deeply restorative, allowing you to realign with the natural rhythms of the universe. Creative expression is another potent method for working through spiritual obstructions. Whether through art, music, writing, or dance, allowing your inner experiences to take form in the outer world can bring clarity and release. These creative acts can serve as a bridge between your inner spiritual life and your everyday existence. As you engage in these practices, pay attention to the subtle shifts in your energy and awareness. Clearing spiritual blockages often happens gradually, with small changes accumulating over time to create significant transformation. Celebrate each step forward, no matter how small it may seem. It's also important to be prepared for the changes that come with clearing spiritual blockages. As energy begins to flow more freely, you may find yourself releasing old patterns, relationships, or beliefs that no longer serve you. While this process can be challenging, it ultimately creates space for new growth and alignment with your true purpose. Remember that as a chosen one, your journey is unique. What works for others may not be the right approach for you, and that's perfectly okay. Trust your intuition and be willing to experiment with different techniques and practices until you find what resonates with your soul. As you move through this process of unblocking, you may find that your understanding of what it means to be a chosen one evolves. The clarity that comes with releasing spiritual blockages often brings a deeper, more nuanced perspective on your role and purpose. You may discover that your calling is both simpler and more profound than you initially thought. One of the most beautiful aspects of clearing spiritual blockages is the renewed sense of connection it brings. Connection to yourself, to others, to the natural world, and to the divine. As the obstructions fall away, you may experience a flood of love, compassion, and understanding that extends far beyond yourself. This expanded awareness often comes with a heightened sense of responsibility. As a chosen one with clear channels, you may feel called to use your gifts and insights in service of others and the world at large. This doesn't necessarily mean taking on grandiose missions, but rather infusing your daily life and interactions with the light and wisdom you've reclaimed. It's important to maintain balance as you step into this renewed sense of purpose. While your spiritual work is crucial, it shouldn't come at the expense of your physical health, relationships, or joy in everyday life. In fact, as you clear your spiritual blockages, you're likely to find a greater sense of harmony between your spiritual path and your earthly existence. As you continue on your journey, remember that spiritual growth is an ongoing process. Even after clearing significant blockages, new challenges and opportunities for growth will arise. The skills and awareness you develop through this process will serve you well in navigating future obstacles. Ultimately, the journey of clearing spiritual blockages is one of coming home to yourself, of remembering your true nature, and reconnecting with your divine essence. As a chosen one, you have the courage, wisdom, and resilience to face these challenges and emerge stronger, clearer, and more aligned than ever before. In closing, know that the very awareness of these signs of spiritual blockage is a testament to your spiritual sensitivity and commitment to growth. By acknowledging these challenges and taking steps to address them, you're already on the path to greater spiritual freedom and fulfillment. Trust in your journey, embrace the process of unfolding, and know that with each step, you're aligning more fully with your highest purpose as a chosen one. Remember, the universe supports you in this journey. Even when the path seems unclear or the challenge is overwhelming, you are never truly alone. The same divine force that called you to this path is always with you, guiding you towards your highest good. As you clear away the blockages that have obscured your vision, you'll find that this support becomes ever more apparent, manifesting in ways both subtle and profound. As you move forward, carry with you the knowledge that these experiences of blockage and breakthrough are sacred parts of your journey. They are the means by which you deepen your wisdom, expand your compassion, and refine your ability to serve as a beacon of light in the world. Embrace them with an open heart and a curious mind, knowing that each challenge brings you closer to embodying your full potential as a chosen one.